I started this podcast because I wanted to listen to someone struggling and making mistakes, someone like me. And once I click publish, the episode no longer belongs to me. That's how it feels. And it becomes your reality. And that's amazing. I hope each episode can spark something in just a few of you. I try to be as transparent as possible in every episode, and this is no exception. In episode 4, I talked about my decision not to have kids. It was hard to change my mind because I felt like my pride was at stake. But recently, I realized the real reason why I didn't want to have kids, and ironically, it makes me want to have kids now. It's controversial in my head because it feels like I'm weak or not strong enough with my ideals and principles. A few years back, around 21, I was certain I wanted to become a dad eventually. It feels like forever ago, but it's been only 5 years. At that time, I knew it wasn't the right moment, but I loved the idea of having kids. After my breakup and meeting my little cousin, I decided he was everything I wanted. He is who I love the most in this world without expecting anything in return. Maybe that's what having kids feels like. For the past 3 years, I didn't want kids at all. And this allowed me to think for myself and make a conscious decision about having or not having kids. When I published episode 4, I was sure about not having kids because I had been sure for almost 3 years. Now it feels like I'm suddenly changing my mind. I have come to the conclusion that my decision was based on fear. Fear of not being a good parent. Fear of messing up a little kid. Fear of making the wrong decision. Fear of not finding the right partner. Fear. I've been told I would make a good dad, but I'm not so sure. There are so many variables out of my control that define the path of my kid if I ever have one. There are so many things that can go wrong. Just a couple of days ago, I understood that maybe all it takes to give my best shot at becoming a good dad is having this consciousness. And at the same time, who am I to assume this? I'll never have the answer to how to become the best dad possible. What if I do my best and my kid ends up broken or unstable? There's no way to have all the answers on how to raise a child. Even if I make the best dad from the outside, it might not be what my kid needed. It's just impossible to know. I wanted to do this episode for my future dad self, assuming it happens, to leave it all on the field. And no matter what, if one thing my future wife can be sure of, it's that I will be present, physically and emotionally. If there's one thing I learned from my dad, it's that once you become a dad, nothing is more important than the children. No matter what's going on in my personal life, that can wait. If I happen to become a dad, there will be no room for excuses. And it feels controversial because this has been my reality for years. And it's okay to change, to think and get to my answer. And this is my answer for now. I am not having kids now for what it's worth. Not at all. Just saying, my radical thinking on not having kids has changed. And I'm glad it's happening now because it has let me grow personally. It has let me analyze what I really want and what I don't. A very close friend of mine once said, if someone were to become a dad, that's you. It stuck with me because I felt so unworthy of becoming one. Who am I to decide that? Who am I to create life? But I guess she saw something in me I couldn't see at the time. I don't know how to be a dad. Time will tell. But for now, I just wanted to share this and feel at peace with myself. This podcast is teaching me to be honest with myself at all times. And it's been only a month and a few episodes, but it feels like the project of my life. And I'm happy I'm doing this for my future self to come back and take a sip in my early years. If I had never become a dad, that's okay too. Maybe I'm doing this for nothing, but I really don't care. I'm going to find out. Thank you very much for listening. Yo soy Bruno, and I'll see you in the next one.